Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum. I would like to Dr. Dinesh Sharma, former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Excellencies, Mr. Ramesh Singh, Chairman of Kumar Gopal Schools, Dr. Dheeraj Mehta, Principal of this school, that Sri Lanka, that education leader in Janaka Gunawardena, and our veteran filmmaker, Buddhi Kirtisena, and educators, principals, teachers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you for inviting me to be a part of this very special and important event. It is a great pleasure and privilege for me to address this distinguished gathering today at the International Education Summit. Let me begin my speech with four famous quote by National Bandula. The education is the most powerful weapon which can use change the world. The critical need everywhere is for education to prepare students to lead successful, fulfilling lives. In today's community, this means providing them with relevant educational experiences that nurture their passions, problem-solving abilities, and high-level thinking skills, including critical and creative. In the present context of knowledge-driven global economy, manifestos by foreground advancement in research and innovation. Education is paramount and plays a vital role in enabling the explosion of new favorites of knowledge to meet the challenging demands faced the realities. In an environment where the knowledge, technological progress and productivity improvement act as the key drivers of growth. Education has been well recognized as a priority, improving the productivity and innovation to sustain economic growth and prosperity. Amidst the evaluation of human needs, technology and globalization, as well as democratic challenges. With economic development, the country needs to adapt advanced technologies to remain competitive within the global market. To this end, the country should have a highly skilled labor force, particularly a bank of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEM, literate employees. Although literacy rates that capture only the reading and writing ability are high in Sri Lanka. The level of STEM literacy in the country is not adequate to achieve on innovation-led growth. Although there are numerous factors that are vital to ensure high economic growth at the middle income stage, a sound educational system is always of paramount of importance to accumulate human capital and thereby raise the country's competitive. A good education system equips the labor force with marketable skills while Thirdly, innovation and productivity growth. Often, public investment in a country is aimed at improving the general level of education. For example, Sri Lanka adopted an education policy of offer pre-education at primary, secondary and tertiary levels in 1945. And today, the country enjoys an immensely high literacy rate among both male and female. In Sri Lanka, the issue goes beyond outdated methodology, including stereotyping and low expectations, coupled with dramatically reduced public investments in quality public schools for have deprived many children in low-income communities in equitable access to a good education. Operations conducted by international agencies such as World Bank and Asian Development Bank highlighted that Sri Lanka fails behind the themes of learning outcomes, which are vital for the high-level industrial, manufacturing and service sector activities of a country aspiring to achieve upper middle income in the medium term. Therefore, the main issue the country faces now is to lift the learning achievement of Sri Lankan students on par with those upper middle and high income countries. In this regard, the general education system has a crucial role in laying the foundation of child by imparting cognitive skills, psychomotor skills, psychosocial and emotional skills that are important for them to become a productive participants in the modern globalized economy and be good citizens in adult life. Although the prescribed teaching learning process in schools should be learn-centered and activity-based, most classrooms have not adopted this approach. Instead, many teachers continue to practice a teacher-centered one-way process. Heavily examination-oriented learning system and the unhealthy competition created in schools education among the students have indeed has both undesirable consequences in the education system and in the society. Further, students, often due to undue pressure from parents, tend to forego co-curricular and extracurricular activities at the school. Technicians and service personnel and skills manpower for the formal and informal labor market. In this regard, we too share with your initiative taken in Sri Lanka during many tenure of office as the Minister of Education. Sri Lanka had 3-stream education at GC advanced level, and they are arts stream, science stream, and commerce stream. Universities offer undergraduate study programs aligned with 3 streams. Arts stream had over 50% of enrollments at GCE advanced level. These students and also arts graduates from universities were majority among the unemployment and underemployment due to the lack of competencies demanded by the labor market. Under this scenario, decision was taken in 2011. I introduced a technology stream, a DCE advanced level 4th stream. The objective of introduced stream were: first, human resources development in areas of technology at the upper senior, secondary and higher education levels for technological and economic advancement. Second, vocationalized part of upper senior, secondary students to enter employment and technical and vocational education. Third, reduce proportion of students entering higher education for arts and humanities. Workshops and laboratories were established in approximately 300 schools across the country, and teachers were recruited and the classes. In approximately 11% of total number of students in GCEL. With economic development, skills requirement in an economy also evolves over time. Therefore, education policies and investments were dynamically adjusted to align with the evolving skills requirement of the economy. In order to achieve simultaneous progress in economic development, if the education system is not aligned with the economic growth needs, the country will face position skills gap mismatch, hindering further economic growth. Countries such as Singapore, South Korea, which successfully avoid this middle income trap, have implemented major education sector reforms from time to time, and public education investment to align their education system with the need to allowing countries. Hence, we are gradually transforming into knowledge-based economy. In parallel, our education policies will be refocused on strengthening tertiary education by establishing new universities, building partnership with foreign universities, and improving labor productivity through innovation. However, this may not be feasible in Sri Lanka economy without suitable adjustments. Although past education policies of successive governments have focused on providing universal education opportunities to students, Sri Lanka now must focus the country's education policies to align with economic development and goals to become globally competitive and thereby space middle income trap. In this regard, emphasis of the education system should be on well as improving English literacy, which are with the global markets. Hence, Sri Lanka needs to integrate policy reform at all levels of education in order to build a STEM literate workforce. Quality and equitable access to primary and secondary education for all children is essential for the economic and social development of the country. Improving the quality of general education is paramount for the personal and professional development of individuals and to generate productivity strengthen employment and technical and vocational education. Third, reduce proportion of students entering higher education for arts and humanities. Workshops and laboratories were established in approximately 300 schools across the country, and teachers were recruited, and the first batches of the students were enrolled for technology stream 2030. According to 2020 education statistics, there are 46,291 students in the GC Advanced Level Technology Stream classes. Total number of students in GCE level. With economic development, skills requirement in an economy also evolves over time. Therefore, education policies and investments were dynamically adjusted to align with the evolving skills requirement of the economy. In order to achieve simultaneous progress in economic development, if the education system is not aligned with the economic growth needs, the country will face position skills gap mismatch, hindering further economic growth. Countries such as Singapore, South Korea, which successfully avoid this middle income trap, have implemented major education sector reforms from time to time, and press and public education investment to align their education system with the need to allowing countries. Hence, we are gradually transforming into knowledge-based economy. In parallel, our education policies will be refocused on strengthening tertiary education by establishing new universities, building partnership with foreign universities, and improving labor productivity through innovation. However, this may not be feasible in Sri Lanka economy without suitable adjustments. Although past education policies of successive government have focused on providing universal education opportunities to students, Sri Lanka now must focus the country's education policies to align with economic development and goals to become globally competitive and thereby spare middle income trap. In this regard, emphasis of the education system should be on STEM fields as well as improving English literacy, which are crucial on building linkages with the global markets. Hence, Sri Lanka needs to integrate policy reform at all levels of education in order to build a STEM literate workforce. Quality and equitable access to primary and secondary education for all children is essential for the economic and social development of the country. Improving the quality of general education is paramount for the personal and professional development of individuals and to generate productivity labor force for the future. Higher education institutions also need to offer more interdisciplinary degree programs with the aim of fostering critical thinking, cognitive and transferable skills of graduates. In this regard, offering STEM courses such as mathematics, statistics and ICT modules in non-STEM degree programs will enhance the employability of graduates. I hope that experience of Sri Lankan in vocationalizing part of upper senior secondary education and follow-up actions taken by the higher education and technical and vocational education is an example of modernization education achieving human aspiration. Let me conclude with some wise word of educational theories. The world economy no longer pays you for what you know, but for what you can do with what you know. This challenges not only the content of what we teach, but the ways which we teach. I want to congratulate Quan's Global Schools in Lucknow, the chairman, Mr. Rajesh Singh, and all other institutions supporting the event for organizing this International Education Summit for Quality Education 2022 to establish a robust system exchanging educational practices among the global communities and work together to improve the quality of education to achieve sustainable development goals. I thank all of you. Thank you.